This is the Santa Clarita Artificial Intelligence blog. SantaClaritaArtificialintelligence.com/blog. You can get there just by going to SantaClaritaArtificialintelligence.com and clicking on, well, the blog. All right, so we're going to get into what's happened lately here as far as the real estate search engines go, the regular business search engines, and then how we're moving from an SEO world, a search engine optimized world, into artificial intelligence and what that means for you as a real estate agent or a local business owner. Enter your city name here, that sort of thing. So what we're going to find out is we're going to see how you need to change the way that you are entering things online as far as social media updates. You need to start to do some modifications as to how you talk and interact online as well. Now, not particularly with clients. You surely have that baked in if you're in sales of any way, shape, or form. But as far as what you post is going to have particular criteria and structured in a particular way that at least makes it easier for these artificial intelligence engines to pull the information and rank you higher when people are using those for search. Now, we're watching as you're familiar probably with Google, and of course Google back in the day broke away from everybody else by a massive margin because they had it as their core operational procedure to give the best results for people that are searching online, because at that time there was a lot of competition with them. A lot of competition with Google and other search engines out there that were giving particular results for people searching. People used things called Lycos. Yahoo had a search feature. AOL, America Online, had a search feature. And a lot of the different operators, Netscape, and these sorts of things, they also had embedded search and agreements with particular search agents. There was also something called Ask Jeeves. So there's a lot that was competing with Google at the time until they basically solved, and through clever marketing and through, great technicians, great scientists, people, these massive coders, these fantastically brilliant minds, they put together the way to actually give somebody the perfect result to what they're looking for. And as of very recently, in fact, just a couple years ago, probably within this last year, we've seen even more of this. But there was a time that you would search and then it would give you these best results, right? If you were going to Google something. That being the case, we've watched where those results were basically giving you places to go, maybe a website here, maybe a blog here, maybe a YouTube video here, maybe an Instagram or a Facebook, something. It was giving you those things. It wasn't making a selection. It was just giving you the top results. When it first came online and started to work very, very well, there wasn't a lot in as far as any advertisement. In fact, there was none. But it didn't take them long to realize that they could provide pay-per-click access and give people sponsored positions on those pages. So now when you go and you Google something, more than likely, if it's something that people are paying to be positioned with, insurance is top, real estate is top, depending on your business, could be top as well. But as long as people are paying for it, you're going to see those ads on this search results pages, search engine results pages, or SERPs, which is what we used to call them back in the day. That's now changed. Now a lot more people are using artificial intelligence to conduct a basic search for things, for real estate, for businesses near me, coffee shops near me. And now it's going to be important that you modify the way that you interact, the information you post online, to be able to match up. So an artificial intelligence engine, be it Claude or be it OpenAI or be it Gemini or be it Microsoft's Copilot or Grok or whichever one you happen to use, those are, I think, probably the big heavy hitters right now. And we're watching as updates are coming pretty quick, right? In fact, it's almost like the perfect storm or the alignment of the planets. We're going to see a few of these things release. I think Grok is going to pop. I know Gemini just popped with 3. That's the Google product. And then OpenAI, I think they're going to have something very soon as well. And I believe Claude either did or will have some kind of an update as well. So it's almost like the perfect alignment of the planets. Maybe that's going to be, well, it's going to be exciting. So we'll save that discussion later. So when this happens, each one of these large language models, of course, they're giving results. And right now, at least from what we can see at the forefront using these things, we don't see a lot of advertisements popping up within them. It depends on how their algorithms are trained, how they're put together as far as what information they're providing. But you'll notice that if it is going to give you some kind of content within the answer it's giving you, and again, it's not giving you 5 things unless you're asking for 5 things. You can ask for it to be structured somewhat as an SEO type engine, and it'll spit those out. But more than likely, it's giving you kind of what it thinks, for lack of a better term. And in some cases, it probably is doing some kind of thinking. It's just not biological in nature, but it is formed after our brain, and there's a lot of education and smarts on that end of it to be able to give those types of results. But if you notice in the page itself, when you go through these search engines and you're searching for something, the links that it's going to give you is going to be the links it's going to give you has some characteristic that lets people know where it came from. So I'll just give you an example here to kind of prove the point, and then we'll get into today's show. So let's go to we're going to go to ChatGPT, and here in ChatGPT, I'm going to ask it. I'm going to say, "Can you recommend locksmith? Can you recommend a local locksmith?" Of course, you don't have to spell anything right anymore, right? All right, so let's see what it does. Once it gives me some of these results, it's going to pull off information. It's doing some thinking. We can go beyond that. We can get it to answer now because, of course, we're doing this live. Now it's going to go online. It's going to search, and it's going to recommend them. Just to give you an idea, this is what it's going to pull up. So there's different things. You got magic lock and key. It's got a high rating, it looks like. So when I click on here, and as it pulls up, it's going to, let's see if they have a website. I would hope they have some kind of a website. Doesn't look like they do, though, right? Magic lock and key. Let's see what this is. Yeah, these look like the websites here. Let's do this. Okay, so in this URL, you see the actual name of the domain, the business, question mark, then you got some other code. Now, the source came from ChatGPT. This is what I'm thinking. At some point, it's more than likely because of this being contained in here, they're probably going to be monetizing this at some particular point. And what you need to do is make sure that your site, your information, your content is well positioned in there. So what I did, as I talked about very much lately, as far as how to do that, using a GEO specificity and also AEO, which is answer engine optimization. GEO is more of a geo or geographical engine optimized way to do it. In order, where you start would be this. I would go first and foremost to make sure that you have a local Google My Business ad, a Google Local Places ad for your business. If you're a real estate agent, I would have it for your real estate business. If you're selling something, locksmith or insurance, or you're an attorney, I would have it formulated for that. And if you have one, there's also ways to make it better. I have another post where I talked about how to really dial it in and make it much stronger. And it's not how you would think. It's actually going to be the updating of content. There's the secret. And you're going to want to update this thing every day if you can. There's automated systems to do it. I have one in my agency that I provide for people that sign up with me. And there's ways to do this so you have constant updates going in, but updates that will be accepted by that particular system, Google My Business. The other one that you're going to need is going to be Bing. Bing is the Microsoft side of it, Microsoft side of things. They have, of course, their Microsoft Copilot. They also have the agreement with OpenAI or the ChatGPT. So usually when people are searching for some kind of a product, it's only going to be pulling information from Bing, which is the Microsoft engine. And Bing, you're going to want to have your ad also on there. It's a free system, very similar to Google, a little bit not as refined, a little bit more clunky, but it is something, at least currently. This is the 20th of November 2025. That might be changing here any day. And in fact, some of it, the mobile part of it, happens to be under construction currently, at least as of day before yesterday when I was playing around with it. You might want to get on there and make sure your business is there. And it does give you an option to be able to basically transfer in the information that they have on Google My Business in there. But what happens is when somebody goes to, let's say, OpenAI, ChatGPT, to do some kind of a search like they might in the search engine optimized world, looking at Google, now they're using these to search for things like they used to use on Google. To be able to be seen on that particular system, you have to have the Bing local business page filled out for your business. And again, the updating is going to be paramount at some point in there, but at least Google for now, those daily updates are super heavy and will very much help. In fact, we have an interaction engine also, so people respond to you at 2 o'clock in the morning and your law firm is shut down, it's going to respond. And by the time you get there in the morning, more than likely, there's going to be an appointment that's been booked for you because they're going to want that consultation that you promised or whatever it may be. So that's the trick. You want to make sure that your business is positioned where these large language models are going to be extracting the data to provide to the people doing those searches. And that's something that we talk about when we have an onboarding meeting, because it's important for me to find out where your business is, whether you're a real estate agent or something else, and then find out what different things we can layer in to help your business get its best return for the costs that you're paying. And in a lot of cases, we're not talking about getting rid of people. We're talking about extenuating your current staff. If you don't have an answer, I remember, God, they used to be so expensive to have people answering the phone 24 hours a day. And a lot of people used Odesk or these other systems. There's an AI overlay with an AI voice system that allows the phone calls to be forwarded there, and then the AI system picks it up. And it's very, very humanistic. If somebody needs to talk to somebody wants to actually get into somebody's voicemail, it can do that, but it will handle that entire engagement process all the way through to the booking of an appointment or giving some kind of a resource that caller has to be looking for. The new thing that we just rolled out a couple days ago is going to be the actual voice agents embedded in these chat widgets here. So you can click here, and instead of just interacting with this particular chat widget, you can actually, it'll say call me here on this particular page. So then right now you can speak through your computer with an actual AI agent that's been built in accordance with whatever your business needs are, your goals, and also has your FAQs and information about your law firm, your real estate office, your lending outfit, whatever it happens to be. It's all going to be one place. So that's going to be very seamless to the people that are going in there, and they're going to want to interact with that. And if they don't want to, then it's also going to gather their information, so you have a person you can call them first thing in the morning. Now, these different things, this SEO, AEO, and this VEO, the video engine optimization, all three of those are important. And that's going to come down to not only the content you have in the video. So if you have a video that's very self-absorbed, you're not doing any of the Q&A, you're not providing any FAQs, so the video doesn't match the verbiage, that's a problem. The video needs to match, and both of them have to be structured in this particular way. It's going to help. So the sooner you learn how to do this, the better. And then what you'll find is after you do it a few times, the structure will make sense. And then that's the content you'll start just producing automatically. So if you're talking about a fender bender or somebody not identifying themselves at the scene of a traffic collision, and you want to give your client the best opportunity to maybe have some kind of a future follow-up, so your investigators or whomever would be able to find out who this person is. They did commit a crime, but maybe it's a low-grade misdemeanor as far as a hit and run goes. Nobody was injured, and then the police department might not use a whole lot of resources to track them down versus maybe a felony type hit and run where somebody hit you, client's injured and took off. But basically, if you wanted to prepare some kind of a video that kind of covered the things that people would do, and I have a background as a police police officer, so I talked to people about this. I saw that many times. People would smash and then they would leave. They would drive away somewhere and leave these injured people stuck in their car, and nobody knew anything. Nobody paid attention to anything. But there was a moment, especially now because everybody has a camera with them, there was a moment back in the day that people could kind of get away free. A lot of times with all the cameras and everything else, a lot of people don't. So part of that video might be, of course, the obvious, getting a picture of the car and them the best you can, and maybe emailing that immediately to yourself or sending that somewhere just in case, these people are real heavy-handed and want to take your phone from you and smash it. But of course, you'll still probably have the data. But anyway, sending it to somebody else is a great idea, but also taking a picture of the neighborhood in the area to capture what other video cameras happen to be in existence. And the quality on our phones is so good that even if you're taking it, down the street, it's going to even pick up the position of Ring cameras, and they'll be able to expand it because basically each photograph that we take has the capability of being blown up to a billboard-sized picture and still look pretty good. So that may be something that you would talk about if you're a legal law firm that does that sort of thing. And then, of course, you branch it out from there. In real estate, we talk a lot about buyer experience, seller experience, questions that buyers have, questions that sellers have, as it relates to maybe loans and lending as well, because we have a lot of issues with, some of the lenders don't think agents should be talking about lending. And, of course, there's certain things I can't talk about with regard to lending. I can't quote an interest rate. I can't, get into the weeds on those sorts of things. But I can talk about what a good faith estimate may be, and I can talk about a truth in lending statement, and I can say, this is the types of pre-approval that are there. You need to talk to your lender to get more information, and if your lender has, is charging you X amount of dollars, you need to find out why that is. I can say those things. That is completely legal for me to say, but some people in the business have an issue with it. Maybe you are one of those people that don't like anybody talking about what you do. But that transparency is more critical today than ever, because somebody's going to find out that there is, in fact, the cat behind the curtain, and he's hiding everything from everybody. And it's not going to be long until that's known to the entire world about whatever particular business you happen to be in. So following it up and with honesty and truth is super important. And then doing videos that have that compliance that allow the artificial intelligence engines to pull that data and to provide that to the people, that's massively important. All right, so that's the blog post. I did put all that together there. I believe I did put the video in here as well that I went through. Yeah, here it is. So this is going to give you as a 50-minute video or so, 46, and I did talk about this through some slides that I put together. This was the 13th class I've done. I do this every Monday, 10 a.m., so you're more than welcome to check that out. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. You just go to Santa Clarita, Artificial Intelligence, and then there you'll be able to see at the very top, I can't spell, just to let you know. Oh, here it is. So right here, this is the home page, and here it's a little shrunk because I'm doing this, but you can get on the webinar here, and you'll be able to join us every single Monday by filling this out, and then I'll get back to you. But again, you'll be able to join us every single Monday for this particular webinar, and you'll be able to get more information than you can possibly appreciate. Just a lot of stuff, and it will be there for you. And I talk about something new every week, and then every once in a while I'll do a recap, but everything lives at the blog. So I have everything here at my blog as well. So you'll be able to see these articles and exactly what you need to start doing, whether it's going to be hiring somebody like me to put this together for you, go into your business and figure out exactly where you happen to be currently and the best steps to take to begin with as we grow you into an entire AI response mechanism that's booking appointments for you, that's able to take care of, nurture clients, send out those emails that you design and put together so everybody stays informed all through the process, so you never leave their presence of mind and you always stay front of mind with your clients, and then of course everything else. All right, I hope you're having a great day. I'm Connor with Honor, Santa Clarita Artificialintelligence.com. Please check out my blog. I would appreciate it, and let me know when I can help you. You can book an appointment with me anywhere on here. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching.